3 years ago I was fat and now I'm jacked, and if you will give me the next 5 minutes of your time, I might open your eyes to something that makes your journey, your fitness journey, your dieting journey, or your journey to achieve any hard to achieve goal easier. Now, this thing is pretty extreme, so you should not full on agree with me on everything I will say, but I genuinely want you to hear me out. So what's that thing? 3 years ago when I started my fitness journey, I wanted to succeed, and I was willing to take extreme measures to do so. So I remember sitting here, scrolling on my phone on TikTok, and watching a motivational video, something in the context of day one or one day. I went to the bathroom, that was day one. I took my before photo, and I remember just taking it with tears coming down my eyes, looking at myself and saying to myself, I will not fucking fail this time. It was the second time I tried, and because of this intense desire, I was willing to do everything it takes. So I went to my computer and I started writing down how to get in shape, these search queries, and I watched a bunch of videos, how to get in shape, how a good diet should look like, what are calories, and I binge watched hundreds of videos about fitness. And I realized it's pretty simple, it's just about consistent effort. That's what everyone told me. Just go to the gym, train consistently, be on a calorie deficit for weeks and months, and you will see great results, bro. And then that's when it hit me. Let's fucking start. So the first week I was just losing a lot of weight. So why this story started to become boring. Fast forward a few months, I got into that micro niche of self-development. After losing some weight and getting in a good shape, I got exposed to some motivational fitness content, and I remember watching that guy talks about the idea of stopping to do bad habits. Now, after a few months of getting more into fitness, I started to play video games less and did a bunch of other bad habits a lot less because I had less time. But when I heard about that advice, I realized I will give it a go. At the time, I was playing video games for 3, 4, 5 hours a day, and before I started my fitness journey, it was more 6 and 7, and on days I didn't have school 12 sometimes, so I was a fucking video gamer beforehand, and then I quit it cold turkey. And you know what changed? You might say, oh really, nothing should change, you just have less fun in your life, what the fuck, why did you do it? That's moronic, all of your friends are online, don't you play them anymore? Why wouldn't you play with them, right? That's just sad. Two things changed. The first thing was that suddenly, when I needed to go to my workouts, and I actually went to them, the process of going through them, the process of thinking about them, the workouts themselves, they became easier, much easier. So beforehand, I remember having that constant feeling of the motivation to go to my workout, just thinking to myself, oh, I need to go to that workout, it will be 1.5 hours, and it will be painful, and I would just sit and write, it will be boring. And then after quitting the video games, I still watched anime and did other stuff, but after quitting this specific bad habit, which is not the message of this video, by the way, I will go over the message in a second, suddenly eating a good diet and doing all of those things became easier. But not only that, the second thing that happened was that, unlike what I thought when I quit them, that I might have less fun in my life, it's for the first few days, for sure, I wanted to go back, I was motivated to play video games, but I resisted those urges. But after a week or so, I just stopped thinking about video games. You've probably heard about the idea of hedonic adaptation, not hedonic adaptation, but the idea that people that get rich, or rich people in general, are as happy or less happy than broke people. Which this idea is not completely full on true, but it has some merit to it. You've probably heard about this idea. And this idea that is very popular these days, it works both ways. Why wouldn't it? Think about it, if one gets rich and now he can access all of the pleasures of life, women, drugs, and all of that other stuff, but he still has the same life fulfillment and same level of happiness as the broke guy, or very similar one, not even the broke guy, just you know what, not the broke guy, but the well-off guy, the guy who has a job, who earns a good money, who earns good money and everything. Why wouldn't it go both ways? Why wouldn't it apply to video games? When you start playing them, why wouldn't it apply here? It applies everywhere. And that's the second thing that happened to me. Everything else became funner. I got adapted to a different level of fun, basically. Less stimulation. Now, that's not the message of this video, but by doing those and quitting some bad habits I had, like corn and other ones you hear about online, I started to have a way better time training. And now, the message of this video, it is very simple. By playing video games, by watching anime, by watching TV in general, and watching short form content, and I do some of those habits. I'm not perfect. And perfection is not the goal here. You're making work harder, you're making training in the gym harder, you're making studies harder, and that's not bad. That's not inherently bad. Why does it become harder? Because you do more fun stuff, right? It is inherently good in some way, just having fun in your fucking life, and I won't be the kind of guy who will tell you to stop having fun, but that's where the extreme point comes. If you want to increase your chances of success in your journey, the chances that you will not just get into a rut and stop training, or the chances that you will not binge it and do and fail and make a bunch of mistakes, then the way to do so is first develop your discipline. But here's the thing. Listen, because this is very important. If you will understand it, you will understand what's the trade-off you're currently making. You will understand how to make hard work easy. When you go and play video games, there are a lot of consequences to that action, because the kind of person who plays video games, he doesn't just have fun. He also becomes a video gamer, which is not inherently bad again, right? Some of you are video gamers. I used to be a video gamer. I have nothing against video gamers. But on top of that, he also has the adaptation to pleasure we talked about before. He gets adapted to this higher level of pleasure, more dopamine, less fun, less pleasure from hard stuff. But also he also becomes weaker, because in video games we get a lot of reward, we get the shiny sword, we defeat the enemy, we feel like status and recognition from our friends with a lot less hardship. There is no pain of training. There is just moving your fucking mouth and touching your keyboard. It's not painful, at least not to the same extent. There is also that thing, and all of those things together, they shape you. They shape that guy, not necessarily you, right? And the kind of guy who is used to having fun without a lot of pain, when he will need to go through a lot of pain to have fun, he will just be a lot less likely to choose it, because it's pain. We don't like to go through pain. Try to fucking slap your fucking face. I don't know, I just did it. But try. It's not nice. You don't want to do it unless you are a masochistic weirdo. I don't know you, but probably not. So that's the same thing. You get used, not you, that guy, he gets used to having fun without pain, to chasing goals without sacrifice. And that thing makes sacrificing for a goal much harder, and that's exactly how you make hard work easy. And that's the message of this video. If you need to basically choose how much of that pain tolerance you're willing to sacrifice to achieve your goal. How much are you willing to sacrifice for that goal with the activities that are not related to this goal? How many hours of video games are you willing to play per week? Because the more you play video games, the more you watch anime, the more you have fun with your friends. Like, now again, I don't say you should quit those things all together, because they are great in moderation. You need to find the moderation. If you currently have a hard time training, you don't really like it, right? It's just pain, and you feel demotivation. That's because your life, it is screwed too much towards pleasure. You need to find a balance. And if you currently have a really hard time sticking to your workouts and your diet and just constantly fail, then the balance might be different than you might think, because you're currently not there. You might need to reduce those things a bit, to do some things that are more productive instead, to include more pain in your life. But not the pain, masochistic pain, weird pain, bad pain. I'm talking about the productive, fulfilling pain, the pain that you sacrifice, the pain you go through when you sacrifice for a goal. You need to find more goals, not you, that guy who is really addicted to video games and he has a really hard time training and dieting and sleeping and doing those productive things. He needs to find new fulfilling goals he really wants to achieve and start sacrifice for them. And at first it's hard. At first there is a transition period for sure, but as time goes on, he will become more like oh fuck me, I don't like to use internet weird terms, but more like that Chad. I don't like this term again, but he will become more like him, and if he will, just become that guy. And when he will be that guy, hard work will become much easier. And that's basically it. If you want, so this is one thing I teach inside of my community. If you want to learn how to get in shape, exactly how a good diet should look like, how I got in shape, how I became consistent in many good habits, you can check it out, or else you can just like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.